Dear students, in this video we are going to study the dielectric properties of materials. Now first of all, we try to understand what is a dielectric material. A dielectric material is an electrically non-conducting material. It is a electrically non-conducting material, means it is an insulator. It is an insulator. You try to take the example of glass or maybe rubber, mica. Now, these are all the insulators which do not allow the charges to pass through, and they are always electrically non-conducting materials. Now, to study the properties of these non-conducting dielectric materials, we require to understand certain fundamental properties of the material. The first fundamental property is the electric dipole. Now, what is an electric dipole? When two charges equal in magnitude but opposite in polarity separated by distance, then that is called as an electric dipole. We have a positive charge of magnitude q and a negative charge of magnitude minus q. They are being separated by a distance d. Then this given charge is called as an electric dipole. And we require to calculate the strength of this dipole, and this is called the electric dipole moment. Now, to understand the electric dipole moment, if I try to take the magnitude of one of the charges and multiply with the distance of separation, then this product is called as the dipole moment. So, the dipole moment depends on the magnitude of one of the charges and the distance of separation. Naturally, if I increase the strength of the charge, the dipole moment increases, and if the distance increases, the dipole moment increases. Therefore, the dipole moment can be measured in terms of coulomb into meter. Therefore, coulomb meter is a unit of the dipole moment, and it is a vector quantity. The direction of the electric dipole moment is always from negative towards the positive direction, which we have learnt in our lower classes. Now, whether each and every insulators are dielectric, every insulators need not be dielectric. Therefore, the question is that how do I know whether the material is belonging to dielectric or not? To understand this, let me try to take two examples. In the first example, I will try to take carbon dioxide is one of the examples. We are aware carbon has two oxygen molecule with a single oxygen atoms with a single carbon atom. And if I ask you the effective center of the carbon as well as the oxygen, the positive and the negative charges are going to overlap one over the other, because here there is a negative charge, here there is a negative charge, and the effective center comes here and the positive charge is here at the center. Therefore, the distance of separation between the positive and negative charge is going to be 0. And hence, the dipole moment of this molecule also going to be equal to 0. Therefore, those molecules in which the net dipole moment is going to be equal to 0, they are what we call as the non-polar molecules. They are called as the non-polar molecules. Take one more example of methane, CH4. Methane also has 4 hydrogen atoms around the carbon atom, and carbon being positive at the center, and all these 4 hydrogen atoms are being surrounded. If I ask you what is the effective center or distance between the effective center of the positive and negative, once again the distance between them is 0 or the dipole moment is 0. Hence, this is also called as a non-polar molecule. Try to take some other example. The example is water. We are aware a water has got a single oxygen molecule and it has got two hydrogen atoms around. And this oxygen, if you consider it as a positive, and these hydrogen, if you try to take it as a negative, the effective center of these two negative comes here, and now positive charge and the negative charge are separated by distance. Hence, the net distance is not equal to 0, or distance is going to be greater than 0. Hence, the dipole moment also going to be greater than 0. Take the second example, ammonia, NH3, where we have a nitrogen atom and there are 3 hydrogen atoms around with the following structure. And if I ask you nitrogen, if you assume that it is a positive ion and these hydrogen are negative, the effective centers are once again going to be equal to, going to have a distance of separation. Hence, it is also going to exhibit a dipole moment. Therefore, those molecules where the dipole moment is not going to be equal to 0 and they are what we call as a polar molecule. Therefore, materials are generally divided into either a non-polar molecule or a polar molecule. Now the question is that a non-polar molecule is not going to exhibit any kind of dipole moment. But are we able to exhibit that dipole moment in the presence of an electric field? To understand this, you try to take the same example of carbon dioxide. So we have carbon dioxide here, where I assume that there is a positive charge here and these are the two negative charges here. Now you try to apply a strong electric field. You apply a strong electric field to it. And when you try to apply a strong electric field, naturally the negative charge being towards the positive charge will be attracted towards it. So the negative charge comes closer, but the positive charge will move away. And this negative charge will be repelled by it, it is also going to come closer. Now if I ask you what is the effective center of these two, the effective center of these two comes here and the positive charge here, and they are being separated. A carbon dioxide where the negative positive charges had no separation, but they are going to separate in the presence of an electric field. And the process of separation of a positive and a negative charge in the presence of an external electric field is named as polarization. Therefore, the polarization is a mechanism in exhibiting the dipole moment in the presence of an electric field. Now, how much polarization that is going to take place? That depends on the kind of material. Therefore, every polarizing material will have a certain constant, and that constant depends on what is called as the permittivity. The word permittivity means it is the ability of the material to allow the electric lines of forces to pass through. Insulator easily allows the electric lines to pass through them. But we are aware, a conductor being a conductor, it doesn't allow any electric lines of force to pass through. Therefore, this permittivity is always been represented as epsilon. And if you consider this epsilon for vacuum, we write it as epsilon naught, and it has got a value 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12 farad per meter. This is what is the permittivity of the free space or vacuum. But for other media, we simply write it as epsilon, and that epsilon can be written as epsilon r into epsilon naught, and this epsilon r, it is also taken as K, is being named as the relative permittivity of the medium, or it is also called as the dielectric constant. It is also called as the dielectric constant of the material. Therefore, a material can polarize or it can exhibit the dipole moment only in the presence of an electric field is what we call as a polarization. And the polarization entirely depends on the permittivity with which the material is going to allow the electric lines of forces. Therefore, I can very clearly say, epsilon is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon r. Or I can write epsilon naught into K, where K is the dielectric constant. The value of K in the case of vacuum is going to be equal to 1. Even in the case of air, the value of K is almost equal to 1.00056. It's a very smaller value and we write it is going to be equal to 1. But the value of say in the case of glass, the epsilon r or the value of K is almost equal to around 5 to 7. But that of water, the value of K is almost equal to 80. Means it lesser is the dielectric constant, easier the lines of forces to pass through, more is the dielectric constant, difficulty is the lines of force. And we know a conductor, it doesn't allow the electric line of forces to pass through. Therefore, naturally, the dielectric constant of a conductor is equal to infinity. Therefore, this epsilon or K is the material property. And if this epsilon, if you try to multiply with the electric field externally, then that product is called D. It is called as the electric flux density. It is called as the electric flux density. Therefore, D is equal to epsilon into E, or I can write epsilon R into epsilon naught into E. That is the equation for the dielectric flux density of any given material. Now, what is the relation between this E and P? That is the relation between polarization and the dielectric constant K. Even though this is a derived equation, I directly give the equation for the polarization, because we are aware polarization depends on the electric field. More is the electric field, more is the amount of polarization takes place. It depends on epsilon r, therefore I'll write epsilon r minus 1 is the relation. And however, it depends on the vacuum. Therefore, the polarization of any given molecule can be calculated as P is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon r minus 1 into E, where epsilon r is the dielectric constant. And this epsilon r minus 1 is called as chi, which is nothing but electric susceptibility. That is means how susceptible the material is to allow the electric lines of forces to pass through. Therefore, we can also write polarization is equal to epsilon naught into chi into E. So, this is the equation for the electric polarization. Now, how do we polarize a given molecule, or what are the mechanisms with which the molecules can be polarized, which I will try to explain to you in the next video.